Hey, welcome to another Untitled Evenings. At some point I will remember our title, but give me a break. Anyways, welcome. Glad that you're joining us this evening. When we first started talking about doing this, a lot of ideas came up, a lot of thoughts, and I told Chris that I really wanted this show to be funny and enjoyable, where people could laugh and kind of forget about, what might be happening in their life at that moment, or how crazy our world is. And I didn't want to take too much time to have kind of like a moment where we were just going to talk about things that we've struggled with. We know you struggle, we struggle.
Well, yeah, everyone does.
Right. But we really didn't want to do that a whole lot because we wanted to make your life better by making you laugh and seeing how crazy and silly we are. And
that would make our life better too.
Right. Knowing that we made someone laugh and, forget about something for a little bit. But tonight, I thought it would help me to share kind of like what's been weighing on me. And by doing this, I'll be able to move past it and I won't dwell on it so much. And maybe it'll be a good healing process for me.
So you get to be part of our therapy.
Yeah, just for tonight.
Doesn't cost anything.
Doesn't cost anything. Anyways. So, as you've noticed over these episodes, Chris and I we are a unique brand of people. We are not something that fits into a mold.
It's a polite way of saying weirdos.
Yeah, we're not
We're
normal.
weirdos.
And we don't want to be normal.
No, normal is boring.
It is very boring. And it hasn't been a problem, actually. Like, I've thought about this. And we got married in 99, and we were living in Kentucky, and we had a lot of friends from college that were still in the area.
Yeah.
So they were just like us. And so it was easy for us to socialize, do things, and not feel out of the ordinary.
Sure. Common experiences, shared experiences in the past.
Exactly.
Make it easier.
Yeah. We needed to move to Texas for a job, and by that time we had our oldest, and that wasn't a horrible experience.
No, it was great in a lot of ways.
Right. It took a little while for it to blossom, but I was very lucky to have met a woman in our apartment complex at the time who had a son just like our oldest, and they were same age and everything. So through her, I was able to meet the friends I have today from Texas. We have still a great connection there with our church. We miss everyone dearly. I normally wouldn't be this emotional, but unfortunately, I'm on my period, which you didn't need to know.
Seen previous episode, you would have already known that because you blurted that out in the episode, which was
anyways
awesome.
You're a part of the family now. Or anyways, I had a really great group of women there that I connected with, and it was just super easy to hang out with. Unfortunately, Chris didn't have that.
I did not have a super awesome group of ladies to hang out with,
right?
Connect with.
Okay.
It's not that I didn't try.
We need to keep this moving forward because I don't want to have a part 2. So Chris did not get to meet he did not get to connect with a lot of males until the last 6 months that we were there, living there. My point of this tonight is that we've moved out to California, which we live in San Diego, as much as I'm telling you. It is a different world out here.
Yes.
Okay, we're not global trotters or anything like that. We've never lived in a place where we've had trouble meeting people to an extreme, okay? We've had people who introduce themselves to us. We feel connected and warm. And then over a period of time, that connection gets closer and deeper, blah, blah, blah. We've lived out here for roughly 16 months now, and I still do not feel connected to anything out here except for my walking buddy.
It was awesome, by the way.
Yes, you are an amazing person. When we first moved out here, I was so tired from the move because we had to move in 4 weeks. So I had to pack up my house. I had to move our baby and our oldest out here, and I had to unpack and jump into everything.
And she had to do all of that moving on her own.
Right.
She and the boys flew out before me, and then myself and our priest, who moved to California a year before us, flew back to Texas and helped me drive all of our stuff here. So
I was busted for 2 months. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was exhausted, and it was just difficult for me to do anything. Jacob's, our oldest, starts school, and I try to volunteer, but the baby's just still difficult to take to school because I'm not going to leave him with anybody.
Right.
That's just the type of person I am.
People we are. I wouldn't want to do that either.
Right. So, try finding moms groups. It was very difficult to find moms groups. It's even hard to connect with people over Facebook here. It's just a different world. Everybody is just busy with working.
Right. Everyone
is busy with their children's activities, and they don't really have a whole lot of time. If there are stay-at-home moms here, they are difficult to find because everyone's just busy and everyone's already connected to who they want to be connected with. And so trying to insert yourself into a group that has, 12-foot walls up around them, it's been very difficult. And there are not a whole lot of people that are just going out of their way to come and find us and to come meet us. Now, when you live out here in San Diego, you have South San Diego, you have North County, you have inland people and coastal people and island people, blah, 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 blah. So Chris and I feel that there is a good chance we could move somewhere and find people like us, but right now we're stuck. I don't want to take my son out of school.
Yeah, he's doing so well in school, and he loves it.
A speech teacher, and this one caught on to him super quick. Like, she understood his thinking. She understood how he should learn. And when she said all this stuff, it's like what I had been thinking, but I just couldn't verbalize it. And so I told Chris, we cannot move until he gets out of school.
Yeah.
And then we need to be in a place where we can send him, where we can move and send him to a school that will be able to take care of him in his education. So, what do you do? I mean, seriously, what do you do? When you can't move, it's difficult to find people to associate with, and you have limitations because of your children or your baby that you have. And so I've had a difficult time transitioning out here.
We both have.
Yeah, I mean, we both have, but Chris takes it a lot better than I do. I have not taken it well at all. I tried networking for business purposes, and what I've learned, no offense to anyone out here, but this is my experience, that if you cannot contribute and give referrals and leads to these people, they don't want anything to do with you. You get wrapped up into everybody else that is not contributing either money or time.
Well, I mean, it is a business.
I know, I get it, but it's either you work with these people and you contribute your money and your time into it, or you find something else to do. And I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting people, and I did find some, don't get me wrong. I did find people that would sit down with me, talk to me, give me business tips and stuff like that. And it did go well. But you have to continue that. And it's hard doing that when you're trying to raise a 2-year-old. And I couldn't see myself continually paying money each month for the business stuff that they were giving me when I wasn't still succeeding or moving forward or, feeling like I was growing. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was just giving my money and not getting anything in return. So when that didn't work out, I kind of just threw up my hands in the air and said, I give up. And I did. I gave up for a couple months. And thankfully, my walking friend was just like, let's just get out and start walking again, and let's do this and be steady at it. And so that's what we did. Mm-hmm. And through that, I've been able to meet some other moms, and I've been able to join a couple of groups. But people get really excited, and then that excitement wanes because it's no longer something that they're interested in. So obviously, there's some good days and some bad days. We're still struggling. We're going to have to make a decision soon on some things. And that's going to be difficult because I know it's going to hurt people's feelings. And I would rather suffer in silence than hurt other people.
But we're not going to do that.
We can't anymore. I can't tell you how many times we thought about moving this past year. At least a couple of times a month, we would just look at each other. Just like...
I hear Portland's nice this time of year.
Yeah. And with Chris being in the technology field, he knows where all the jobs are right now. So we really heavily considered, we looked at houses up there. We looked at school districts and stuff like that. Because we didn't feel like we were going anywhere, and the reason why we moved out here wasn't our reason anymore. But when we moved out here, this is by far the hardest year we've ever had, and Chris and I have not had an easy time since we've been married.
No.
I mean, he's been unemployed, I've been employed, we've been unemployed at the same time. We lost a house that we were renting because we couldn't pay for it. We lost a house that we owned because of the market crashing. We lost a baby.
So yeah, it's not been easy by any means. But we got through it.
We did.
Mm-hmm. It's like we'll get through this. Not a question of if, just when.
It's so frustrating because I keep telling Chris, let's give it a little bit more time. Let's give it a little bit more time. And I guess it wouldn't be so bad if I felt like we both had, friends, and we had like that one group that we could hang out with, or that one person, or a family, whatever. But there comes a time where I am tired of fighting. I'm tired of putting all that effort into trying to make me, plans and meet and do this and do that, and it just falls apart. I was telling my walking buddy, my mom came into town, super excited. I had hoped that we could go out a lot. And then when we had the opportunity to go out, it wasn't like a big deal for me to want to go out. That's how bad it's been. Like, I'm so used to how we are living out here that when my mom gave us an opportunity to go out, I was actually arguing with him schematics. Like, we don't have enough time. There's no way we can go do this because there's just not enough time. I was making excuses so we wouldn't go and do stuff. And looking back, I've realized that even though it's going to be hard and it's possibly going to damage some things, relationships, it's just what has to be done right now, because there's a point where I can't do this. I become very unhappy. I become very closed off. My kids are affected because I can't control the negative feelings I'm feeling. And it separates us because I push him away. And what's really difficult is that I don't have anyone to talk to besides him. And I feel bad putting all of this on him. I feel like he does so much for us already. Not only does he work a full-time job, but he takes freelance jobs when he can. And he's always thinking of stuff, doing stuff, trying to provide for us, so that I can stay at home and be with my kids. It was really funny. One of our friends back in Texas texted Chris about 2 weeks ago. And our friend was like, so tell us about San Diego. Do you like it? How are the schools?
Yeah. Weather's awesome. Love being by the beach. This place sucks. Sucks.
So Chris was like, hey, so-and-so could possibly be thinking about moving out here. And I almost jumped for joy. Physically in our living room. I was so excited because
I was too.
I know.
They're great.
We got to be really good friends with them before we left. We were hanging out with them on a regular basis. And some people are really good about having long distance friendships. We
not good.
Are horrible about that. But I told myself, we're moving out to California. I'm not going to lose connection with these people. I tried my damnedest. I actually made an effort in trying to talk to these people and keep in communication with these people. And none of them kept in contact with me. And I was just like, is it me? Is it the distance? Is it what everyone, or is it what a lot of people feel? That since you've moved, that you've lost that connection. It's kind of been severed because you're moving. Mm-hmm. And it's just easier not to keep in contact. So that's another thing I've had to deal with this past year is...
pretty standard, though.
I know.
It's
I'm just
difficult
not used to it.
When you have a relationship with someone, especially when it's been pretty serious, you find it's just difficult over distance. You don't see them anymore, and it's all text on Facebook and SMS messages and maybe a phone call every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it just, we talk about our technology making the world smaller, but it's also making relationships less personal and easier to dispose of.
Yeah.
And, if you're already people like us who have a hard time with doing long distance relationships, then it just kind of compounds the problem and gets even worse. And I think that's just what's going on. No one's doing anything on purpose, and they're not.
No, not at all. And I don't want it to sound like that, but Chris and I, when we have even people out here in San Diego, we talk to mostly people either on Facebook or by texting. And it's difficult at the same time because Chris and I want to have that connection with people.
Right.
So I don't like picking up the phone because I can't see you. And so I hardly ever pick up the phone to call people. That goes for my parents. That goes for my brothers. My mom keeps telling me we need to FaceTime. And I keep forgetting that we have the technology to do that. I'm so old school with the whole phone thing or wanting to meet people and talk to them in person that I forget that we have that. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I'm going to probably go pass out now because this is usually what happens. I spill my guts and after holding it in for so long. I feel like I've done confession.
Good.
I just need absolution now. But probably should do that too.
Confession would be good.
Yeah.
So, aren't you glad you tuned in? This has been Untitled Evenings. We're going to call it quits before I start crying. That's horrible.
Yeah, you don't want to see
If I cry, bad things happen. So, if you like this episode, don't get used to it because we won't be doing much of them.
No.
We're much more on the happy-go-lucky side. But
We
thanks.
also don't want to depress you either.
Right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share, comment, like, insert word here that means that we're awesome. And we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.